Have you ever felt like everyone around you is moving forward, but you are somehow standing still? You open your phone and you see people getting new jobs, moving to new cities, starting businesses, getting married, buying cars, traveling the world, or building the kind of life that looks perfect from the outside. And then you look at your own life and think, what am I doing? Why am I not where I thought I would be? Why does everyone seem to have a plan except me? If you have ever felt this way, you are not alone. In fact, feeling lost in your 20s is more common than most people admit. But here is the part nobody tells you. Feeling lost does not always mean you are failing. Sometimes it means you are finally becoming aware of the life you actually want to build. Your 20s can feel confusing because for the first time, life stops giving you clear instructions. When you are a child, the path is simple. Go to school, do your homework, pass your exams, listen to your parents, move to the next grade. There is always a next step, but then suddenly you become an adult, and nobody gives you a map anymore. Nobody tells you exactly which job to choose, which city to live in, who to love, what to study, how much money is enough, or what kind of person you should become. You are expected to figure it out, and that is terrifying, because for the first time, your life becomes your responsibility. That freedom sounds beautiful, but it can also feel heavy. You are free to choose, but that also means you are free to make the wrong choice. And that fear can make you feel stuck. You may feel pressure to pick the perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect lifestyle, the perfect version of yourself. But the truth is, nobody builds a perfect life at 25. Most people are experimenting. Most people are pretending they are more confident than they really are. Most people are figuring things out quietly while showing only the best parts of their lives to the world. Social media makes this feeling worse because you are not comparing your real life to someone else's real life. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You see the promotion, but you do not see the anxiety. You see the relationship, but you do not see the arguments. You see the vacation, but you do not see the debt. You see the success, but you do not see the years of confusion behind it. And because of that, you start believing that you are late. Late to success, late to money, late to love, late to becoming the person you thought you would be. But life is not a race with one finish line. Some people find success early and lose themselves later. Some people struggle for years and then build something meaningful. Some people change careers at 30. Some start over at 40. Some discover their purpose after losing everything they thought they wanted. There is no universal timeline. There is only your timeline. And the more you compare your life to someone else's timeline, the more you disconnect from your own. Feeling lost often comes from trying to live a life that does not truly belong to you. Maybe you are chasing a career because it looks impressive. Maybe you are studying something because your family expected it. Maybe you are staying in a relationship because you are afraid of being alone. Maybe you are trying to become someone others will respect while ignoring the person you actually are. And at some point, your inner self starts whispering, "This is not it." At first you ignore it. You tell yourself to be grateful. You tell yourself everyone struggles. You tell yourself you should stop overthinking. But the feeling does not disappear. It gets louder and suddenly you feel lost. But maybe you are not lost. Maybe you are just realizing that the path you are on is not the path you want. That realization can hurt, but it can also save you, because you cannot build an honest life without first questioning the life you were told to want. This is why feeling lost can be the beginning of something important. It forces you to ask better questions, not just, how do I make more money? But, what kind of work gives me energy? Not just, how do I look successful? But, what kind of life feels peaceful when nobody is watching? Not just, what will people think? But, what do I actually want? These questions are uncomfortable because they do not have quick answers. But they are necessary, because a meaningful life is not created by copying others. It is created by understanding yourself. And understanding yourself takes time. You need to try things. You need to fail. You need to meet different people. You need to make mistakes. You need to change your mind. You need to outgrow old versions of yourself. There is nothing wrong with that. Changing your mind does not mean you are weak. It means you are paying attention. The person you were at 18 may not be the person you are at 25. The dreams you had 5 years ago may not fit the person you are becoming now. And that is okay. Growth often feels like confusion before it feels like clarity. Think about it. Before you make a major change, there is usually a period where everything feels uncertain. You are not who you used to be, but you are not yet who you are becoming. That middle place feels uncomfortable. It feels like being lost, but it is actually transformation. You are between identities, between chapters, between versions of yourself, and during that time you may feel behind. You may feel invisible. You may feel like nothing is happening. But deep change is often quiet. A tree does not grow overnight. A strong foundation is built underground before anyone sees the building rise. The same is true for your life. The work you are doing now may not be visible yet. The lessons you are learning may not look like success yet. The discipline you are building may not have paid off yet. But that does not mean nothing is happening. Sometimes the most important seasons of your life are the ones where nobody claps for you. The seasons where you are learning patience. The seasons where you are learning self-respect. The seasons where you are learning what you no longer want. The seasons where you are becoming strong enough to choose differently. If you feel lost right now, do not rush to escape the feeling. Listen to it. Ask yourself what it is trying to show you. Are you tired because you are lazy or because you're living against your values? Are you unmotivated because you lack discipline or because you are chasing something that does not matter to you? Are you afraid of failing or are you afraid of disappointing people? Are you actually lost or are you just scared to choose your own path? These are difficult questions, but they can change your life. Because clarity does not always come from thinking. Sometimes clarity comes from action. You do not find your purpose by sitting in your room and waiting for a perfect answer. You find it by moving. Try the job, start the project, take the class, learn the skill, talk to new people, travel if you can, build something small, take one step, then another. Your path becomes clearer as you walk, not before. Many people stay stuck because they want certainty before they begin. But certainty is usually the reward of movement, not the requirement. You do not need to know your entire future. You only need to know the next honest step. Maybe your next step is learning a new skill. Maybe it is leaving a toxic environment. Maybe it is saving money. Maybe it is becoming healthier. Maybe it is having a difficult conversation. Maybe it is admitting that you want more from life. Small steps matter, because your future is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in your daily habits, the way you spend your mornings, the people you allow around you, the content you consume, the promises you keep to yourself, the way you respond when life gets difficult, the courage to begin again after failure. That is what shapes you, not motivation, not luck, not perfect timing, but repeated action. One of the hardest parts of your 20s is accepting that nobody is coming to save you. At first, that sounds sad, but it is actually empowering, because when you stop waiting for someone to give you permission, you begin to take ownership. You stop saying, "I hope my life changes," and you start saying, "I am going to change my life." That shift is powerful. You may not control everything. You may not control the economy. You may not control your past. You may not control other people's opinions. You may not control every opportunity, but you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control what you learn. You can control how you spend your time. You can control whether you give up or keep going. And over time, those choices matter more than you think. The life you want may not arrive quickly, but it becomes more possible when you stop betraying yourself. Stop pretending you do not care. Stop acting like your dreams are silly. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop measuring your worth by other people's progress. You are allowed to want a better life. You are allowed to start late. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to disappoint people who expected you to stay the same. This is your life, and you are the one who has to live it. So, if you feel lost, maybe the goal is not to find the perfect answer immediately. Maybe the goal is to become honest. Honest about what hurts. Honest about what you want. Honest about what you fear. Honest about what needs to change. Because once you become honest, you can begin. And beginning is more important than being perfect. You do not need to have everything figured out. You need to stop standing still because you are afraid of choosing wrong. A wrong step can teach you. A failed attempt can redirect you. A difficult season can strengthen you. But doing nothing will only keep you in the same place. So take the pressure off. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not the only one struggling. You are in the process of becoming. And becoming is not always beautiful. Sometimes it is messy. Sometimes it is lonely. Sometimes it is slow. But one day, you may look back at this confusing season and realize it was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of the chapter where you finally started listening to yourself. So breathe. Start small. Choose one thing you can improve today. Not your whole life. Just one thing. Clean your room. Go for a walk. Apply for the job. Read 10 pages. Practice the language. Write the idea. Save a little money. Delete the distraction. Send the message. Take the step. Because confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after you prove to yourself that you can move forward, even when you are unsure. And that is the secret. You do not need to feel ready. You just need to begin. The rest will become clearer on the way.